Now let's bring you developments on the suspension of Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, as we understand that the senator has alleged that Nigerian security officials are planning to arrest her upon her return to Nigeria. According to news reports online, she revealed concerns over her participation in the Inter-Parliamentary Union meeting in New York on March 11. Akpoti-Uduaghan spoke out about her Senate suspension and allegations of sexual harassment against Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Reports suggest that Nigeria security agencies, including the SSS and NIA, are investigating how she attended the IPU meeting without official approval. The IPU has vowed to investigate her claims, but will also hear the Nigerian Senate's response. Earlier, we were joined by Higher King human rights advocate.
If you look at the cases that we have filed in court, if you have 1,000 cases, 70–80% of them is actually against government, police, army, navy, those in government, governors, senators. That's actually what is also playing out here. If you look at the Nigerian Constitution, talking about section 34, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 34, 5, 6, 7, 8, 40, 41, 42, it talks about the protection of human rights. And I don't know why Senator Natasha attending the IPU, that is Inter-Parliamentary Union in New York, should be a problem. Because I know that legally speaking, she is permitted to attend such meetings. Otherwise, somebody like me now, higher thing, I just wake up and the day they're having that meeting, I go to the gate, they won't allow me entrance. It is because she's a senator, it's Inter-Parliamentary Union. It means it's a union where you have parliament members from all over the world. Where there is a union of parliament, and that is countries' parliament.
Meanwhile, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has sued Senate President Godswill Akpabio over the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja, the suit challenges the 6-month suspension, calling it patently unlawful and a violation of her fundamental rights. Serap argues the suspension deprives her constituents of representation and is an attack on free speech. The group seeks a court order to reinstate Akpoti-Uduaghan and prevent further disciplinary actions against her. The senator was suspended for allegedly speaking without permission and refusing a new seat in the chamber. No hearing date has been set. Amnesty International has condemned the alleged threats and intimidation faced by Uche Ugwamaye, a Lagos-based National Youth Service Corps member, after she posted a viral TikTok video criticizing President Bola Tinubu's government over Nigeria's worsening economic conditions. Ugwamaye's video, which called out Tinubu's leadership and highlighted issues like inflation and poor sanitation in Lagos, led to her receiving threats from NYSC officials. Now, Amnesty International stated that Ugwamaye was exercising her right to peacefully express discontent, urging the government to focus on addressing the economic crisis instead of silencing critics. The incident has sparked a national debate about free speech and government attempts to suppress dissent. Meanwhile, former Lagos State governorship candidate Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour has condemned any attempt to silence Raye, the NYSC core member who criticized President Bola Tinubu's economic policies. Raye recently took to TikTok to voice concerns about the hardship Nigerians have faced under the Tinubu administration. She also alleged receiving a threat from an NYSC official over her criticism. In a post on X, Rhodes-Vivour called the alleged threat an attack on citizens' liberty, reminding authorities that Nigeria is a democracy, not a monarchy. He emphasized that Nigerians have a constitutional right to express dissent. Rhodes-Vivour also criticized the current leadership, accusing them of inflicting unnecessary suffering on the youth while demanding that they remain silent in the face of oppression. He concluded by declaring his support for Raye, urging Nigerians to resist tyranny and defend their rights. Similarly, the Trade Union Congress has backed Lagos-based National Youth Service Corps member Ushe Gumaye, also known as Raye, who claimed to receive threats for criticizing President Bola Tinubu's administration. TUC President Festus Osifo stated that Raye's criticism reflects widespread frustration among Nigerians. He, however, urged the government to show tolerance rather than target critics. Osifo further acknowledged the importance of respectful criticism, but emphasized that the government must understand public grievances. Meanwhile, Raye recently gained attention after a viral video where she condemned economic hardships and labeled President Tinubu a terrible leader. She also alleged pressure from NYSC officials to delete the video. However, the NYSC has not issued an official response. To security matters, the Nigerian army has arrested two notorious kidnappers, Bashir Mohammed and Ismail Mohammed, in Plateau State. In a statement on Sunday, the army said the operation was carried out by troops of 3 Division Operation Safe Haven on Saturday after receiving intelligence reports. Troops raided a hideout at Katume High Grounds in Basa local government area where kidnappers were allegedly keeping victims while negotiating ransom. 1 AK-47 rifle and a magazine were recovered. The suspects are in custody making confessions to aid further operations. Now, the army described the arrests as a major success in its ongoing efforts to combat insecurity in the region. Economic activities have picked up in Plateau State, where everyone now goes about their lawful businesses with little or no fear of molestation from any quarters. In this special report, News Central's Chizoba Nyongwe takes a look at happenings in the city of Jos that presume relative peace has been restored after many years of civil unrest in the state. A report.
Many years in Plateau State have witnessed what people had tagged Black Days, occasioned by the violent attacks that had rocked some parts of the state, taking lives and property. Owing to joint efforts of the Nigerian military and other sister security agencies in the state, days of curfew are bygone now, even though security agencies aren't lowering their guards in their efforts to sustain the level of peace so far achieved in the state. This is the reason behind the full return of these socio-economic activities, especially here at the popular Ahmadu Bello Way, the commercial hub of the state, known for this hustling and bustling you behold here. Residents can now boast of what they commonly describe as relative peace on the plateau.
Peace on the plateau for now is relative. Haven't seen the role that the government and the security agencies have played towards ensuring that there is peace. And for now, we'll say plateau is peaceful because of the extent of a consultation, the extent of meetings, the extent of the activities they've done.
We used to have this Christian divides, Muslim divides. So where as a Muslim you can pass through, a Christian cannot pass through. Where a Christian can pass through, a Muslim cannot pass through. But all that is in the past now, you know. And there is also gradually nightlife is coming back to Plateau State because of what? The peace.
For some time now, we've experienced peace in the plateau, and it's a really good thing. It's a good thing because I can remember when every few months there's usually unrest in town and shops will have to be closed and all, but it's been a while we experienced that, and I am of the opinion that the governor is doing a really good job in that regard.
Before now, tricycle operators and other local transporters within the Jos Bukuru metropolis stopped operation by 6 p.m. Today, tricycle operators seem not to have a closing time, while others continue as they wish, even at late hours of the day. Nightlife was a forgotten episode in many parts of the state, but with improved security in the state, residents now beat the economic downturn in the country to hang out and cool off after the day's stress. Some traders and even their customers didn't mince words on their thoughts on the state of peace in the state.
Plateau is a peaceful state of which I believe peace is the most paramount thing, and everybody is yearning for that peace. So also people feel when there is peace, then the business will flow, and that's why we are out to get what we can take for our stomach.
I thank God because there is peace in Plateau State. That is why I came out to hustle, because I know if I sit at home, I will not be able to get what I want, and if I need something, there is nobody that is going to help me.
I'm out by this time to look for food to eat, because peace has returned back to Plateau State. Unlike before, if you come out by this kind of time, you will be scared. You cannot be able to do anything.
It's night already, but people are still coming out as if it's daytime. Everywhere is free, peace, everywhere, both the other side and the other side, they are relating together, enjoying, sharing love with each other. So there's no problem in Plateau again.
Yeah, I will urge the security agency and the state government to pay more attention on security, because security is the watchword of any meaningful government.
With the opinions of these respondents, one may say that Plateau State has come back to the once home of peace and tourism it used to be in the past. In Plateau State, for News Central, Chizoba Anyowi.
For over 12 years, about 20 communities in Kano and Jigawa states, along with some settlements in neighboring Niger or Niger Republic, have been without their primary means of livelihood, the Gbadebo Dam. Now the dam, a major source of irrigation for farmers in Dawakin Tofa and Bichi local government areas, homes to Deputy Senate President Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour and former Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, was shut down for repairs but has remained unattended for over a decade. Community members say the situation has forced many young people into banditry, while parents can no longer afford to send their children to school. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu visited the affected communities and now reports.
Another journey up north by News Central's crew, this time deep into the Sahel savannah, to amplify the struggles of communities grappling with drought and hardship. The Gbadebo Dam, once a lifeline for irrigation and agriculture, now stands dry and desolate, a shadow of itself. The once thriving farming communities that supplies tomatoes and onions across the northwest and into Niger Republic are now in crisis. Our arrival was met by desperate scenes of villagers searching for water, with carts drawn by cattle, others on donkeys, wandering far from home in search of relief. The cause of this crisis is evident. The Gbadebo Dam's collapse has left the soil dry, crippling agriculture in these communities that have relied on it for over 5 decades. Community leaders vividly recall the dam's impact before its collapse. Even animals refuse eating leaves around this dam. I can assure you if the dam is fixed, the youths will get what to do and what to eat. Please, we are begging. They should come and fix the dam. Even you can help us speak to them. Now they say hunger, joblessness and desperation have set in, leaving families struggling to survive.
ita wannan makaranta ai mafi akasari iyayen yaran da suka
Parents took their children to school, registered them, but can no longer afford to pay their school fees because their only source of income is the dam, which they use for irrigation farming. Nothing is being produced here again. For the past 12 years, politicians seeking votes have repeatedly promised to fix the dam, yet nothing has changed.
Dan wannan gurin ya zama wanda dandali ko kuma wata santa ta duk wanda ke so ya karya ko ya campaign ko ya kai masa.
This place has now become a source of business for politicians who like to get votes. Since it has a huge voting population, and since they know that the electorates here love farming and cattle grazing, they will just lie that they are going to fix the dam, and after they get their votes, they run away.
Mutane ne da suka dogara da noma da kiwo da kuma son kafa kansu akan wata manufa.
In 2021, federal lawmaker Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour made a significant attempt to repair the dam, raising hopes in the affected communities.
Ba mu samu wanda yake dan siyasa wanda ya tsaya mana akan dam din nan ba illa Kabir Bichi.
To understand the government's position, New Central visited the Hadija Jomari River Basin Development Authority, where officials explained their side of the story.
It is a dam that is work in progress. Now, Gero Dam was first awarded in 2020.
That's a repair.
It was awarded for works on Gero Dam in 2020. At that time, the honorable member who spearheaded the thing, Kabir Bichi, was the chairman of Works, Committee on Works in the House of Representatives. We got this noble work to Harry Demari, and we awarded that work in 2020. At that time, the scope of the work was only for the reservoir development, including the key trench, the embankment for the dam, the access road that will lead you to the dam, and some other little things in 2020. Now these works were carried away, were done in 2020, and then in 2021, we sought for no objection to add other components of that work, including reprapping, that is protecting of the embankment, the desilting of the reservoir itself, the spillway, and the rest of it. All these works are works that were in progress in 2020 and 2021. But unfortunately, from that 2021 to date, all funds that were earmarked for that project were very minimal funds that were only, they were barely enough to even, they were not even enough to offset the backlog of certificates.
Back to the community, frustration mingles with hope. Residents welcome New Central's team with prayers and heartfelt gratitude, desperate for attention to their plight.
No indama.
Ndang Idris.
Aja kuji da ingo da dam.
Kuji mi wada do shangol. Imo inangol mindingo ampana ki do magol.
That's good. Okay, yasnan kamala.
Nuhu.
Me kake so akan dam nan?
Muna so a gera mana rafin nan.
A ga muku rafin nan? Saboda me?
Saboda mun girma ma mu ringa amfani da shi.
Okay, and that is a cry for the future leaders of tomorrow here in, of course, Bichi local government area here, of course, in Gero Dam area. And of course, they are saying they want their life to be easy while they are growing up. They want to see this dam be fixed so that when they grow up, they are going to be farmed like their parents and, of course, live happily with their family. Here in Gero, Bichi local government area for New Central, Emmanuel Bagudu.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for that report. Now, Raye.io, a global tech company, launches a new tech hub as it makes its first expansion into Nigeria. Now, it hopes to achieve some goals with this initiative, including creating a pipeline of skilled tech talent, promoting entrepreneurship and innovation, and contributing to Nigeria's economic growth and development. News Central correspondent Igbalani Omoni was at the official launch and filed this report.
The importance of having tech-driven skills in today's economy cannot be overstated. With the rise of automation and digital transformation, workers need to be equipped with skills that are relevant to the future job market. Hence, the launch of this tech hub, where Nigerian youths will have access to cutting-edge tech training. The hub will offer hands-on project-based courses equipping young people with the skills they need to thrive in this digital age and time.
We know that there's lots of talent in Africa, but the talent are not being tapped enough. So we've had tremendous success building talent that are able to work remotely for organizations, both locally in Nigeria and internationally. But we've decided to take steps further by having a physical hub.
Hub is going to serve as a principal location for our learners, those learners on Raye.io and externs, but also serve as an innovation hub. So individuals who are interested in technology, who require a community or space to kind of network, to get together, to share ideas, access the internet, and just really take in the brewing technology energy that's in Nigeria at the moment.
According to the founders, Nigerian youth will gain access to in-demand skills such as artificial intelligence, data science, amongst others. The hub will also leverage AI-powered tools to enhance the learning experience. Students will have access to personalized learning pathways, real-time feedback, and collaboration tools.
We also introduced AI-specific learning into all the different pathways we do, because we really do see a convergence between doing almost everything with AI.
It is heavily project-based, and people are able to leverage the AI technology to get instant feedback on the work that they do and get scored, which is what we are leveraging on heavily to ensure that people go through this process and have proof of skills hiring.
For the government, the initiatives align with the national agenda to promote digital literacy and entrepreneurship.
It's not enough for us to just say that, we're implementing with the partners. For us, we also want to be able to strengthen these organizations. We want to be able to unlock policies that allow the enable environments that will require organizations in the education technology sector, but also other sectors to thrive, which is why the Nigerian Digital Economy Bill, which the Honorable Minister is spearheading, kicked off last year and has gone to all states in the country. I think there's just a few more steps left after the bill passed the first reading to then be able to go into the second reading. And this bill, alongside the Startup Act bill and a couple of the other policies that the government is actively implementing, spearheaded by the Honorable Minister, are focused on creating these opportunities to be able to enable more innovation hubs like this to be able to thrive.
With initiatives like these, Raye.io and Extent Hub believes Nigeria's future looks brighter than ever. In Lagos for News Central, Igbalani Omoni.
We now head to South Africa, where the South African Office of the Presidency says that the latest move by the United States to expel South Africa's ambassador Ibrahim Rasool is regrettable. Now, this follows a tweet by the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who announced that Rasool has been branded persona non grata in the country following an address by the ambassador in which he criticized U.S. President Donald Trump. In the address, Rasool accused Trump of leading a global white supremacist movement and breaking down established norms and practices when it comes to diplomacy. Now, this move by the U.S. represents the further escalation in the diplomatic feud between Washington and Pretoria. Following the statement, President Cyril Ramaphosa's office has urged all relevant and impacted stakeholders to maintain the established diplomatic decorum in their engagement on the matter. To further discuss this, I'm joined by Sydney Munangotla. He's president of Safe South Africa. Thank you so much for joining us on the news, Sydney.
Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers at home.
Good morning.
And thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure. Now, what was your initial reaction to the expulsion of the South African ambassador to the U.S.?
For quite a while, we've been observing the silence from the president since the tensions began between the two nations. One would recall that there was a group of white people represented by AfriForum who went to the United States and spread lies about our country. And as a movement, we felt that our president could have taken initiatives to engage the president of the United States, and not through social media, but we felt that he could have done something better, like, observe and respect the diplomatic protocol of engagement.
Now, speaking of diplomatic calling on engagement, we know that recently the U.S. actually cut ties, they cut aid funding to, South Africa, and now we're seeing this happening, that's the expulsion of South Africa's ambassador to the U.S. Now, can you tell us how all this has actually affected diplomatic communications between the U.S. and South Africa?
It is clear that the tension now is escalating between South Africa and America. Look, we are not saying that what Donald Trump is doing is correct, or we are not saying that what the president of South Africa is doing is wrong. What we are simply saying is that this can be avoided. You see, the president of South Africa immediately when after the AfriForum has went to America and spoken lies, and Donald Trump making statements through the social media, we say to our president must have taken an effort, like communicate with formally with the office of the president of America. And you see, if he has taken all those initiatives and they were rejected by the White House or the President Trump, then we would understand to say that, but yes, you tried your level best, but you were rejected. But he has not done anything else. The only thing that he did as the President of South Africa, he was addressing the public here in South Africa and say that we are not going to be bullied by America. We are not going to be bullied. But that's not how you manage the tensions, particularly between the trade partners. He was supposed to have formalized the engagement with the President of America and ensure that the tensions don't escalate. Now, his silence diplomacy now has led to Ibrahim Traoré being expelled from America. We believe that this is as a result of not doing anything by our president.
So what's next for trade relations between the U.S. and South Africa if he decides, because you did say that there's a pressure mounting on him to speak to the president of the U.S., but what if he doesn't?
Sorry, come again. I missed the question.
I'm asking what's next for the trade relations, when it comes to U.S. and South Africa if President Ramaphosa does not, take the initiative to, speak to Donald Trump about everything going on between both countries?
Look, should we allow the tension to escalate further, that will have a very devastating consequences in both countries, not only in South Africa. Remember that America is one of our largest trade partners, and our economy still depends on America, and even them, their economy still relied on us. But here we are speaking on behalf of majority of our people, those who will be affected by the negative tensions between the countries. There are a lot of companies from America which are investing in South Africa, which have created jobs here in South Africa. Now, if such the tensions between the two countries but we don't want to get there. We don't want the situation to arrive at that stage. We are saying this can only be avoided. Our president must swallow his pride and go and communicate with America, because we don't want to see our people being left out of work. We don't want to see businesses closing in South Africa. We don't want to see South Africans who are employed in America or those who are doing businesses have to come back home and be jobless and start suffering here. So because these tensions will lead to a very devastating consequences. We know that ultimately you might find that the AGOA trade agreement is being suspended, and where will it leave this country then?
All right. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us and your thoughts on this, Sydney. And we hope that your president does something soon about this.
No, we highly appreciate that, and we hope that he will do the right thing. Thank you, for the benefit of the country.
Absolutely. And now we move to North Africa, where Libya's education minister, Musa Al-Maghrif, has been sentenced to 3.5 years in prison following a textbook shortage dating back to 2021. The Tripoli Court of Appeal also fined him 1,000 dinars, that's about $200, and stripped him of his civil rights for the duration of his sentence and 1 year afterward. Magharif, a member of the National Unity Government, was accused of violating equality principles, intervening in favor of an unnamed party, and showing favoritism in managing contracts for printing textbooks. Now, the shortage, which began in 2021 school year, forced parents to pay for photocopies of textbooks meant to be free in public schools. Magharif was initially detained over negligence in managing the textbook printing contracts, but was also released due to lack of evidence. In the east of the continent, in the besieged city of El Fasher, Sudan residents are seeking refuge underground as conflict rages between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces. Nafisa Malik, a 45-year-old mother of 5, takes shelter in a cramped hole beneath the earth, shielding her children from the constant artillery fire and airstrikes. With thousands of homes destroyed, many residents have created makeshift bunkers, some hastily dug and reinforced with sandbags. Mohammed Ibrahim, who lost neighbors to the violence, dug his own shelter to protect his family. The ongoing war, which has claimed tens of thousands of lives, continues to devastate the region. In Central Africa, the M23 rebel group backed by Rwanda has accused the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo on Sunday of trying to torpedo peace talks scheduled to take place in Angola. The spokesperson for M23, Lawrence Kanyuka, claimed that recent bombings of densely populated areas using fighter jets and drones were an attempt by the DRC government to sabotage the dialogue. The allegations have not been independently verified, and the DRC government has not yet commented. The talks are set to begin on Tuesday in Luanda, following calls from Angolan President João Lourenço for a ceasefire. Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi has so far resisted direct negotiations with the M23, which has made significant territorial gains in eastern DRC. In other news from around the world, the conflict between Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels and the United States has escalated, with the Houthis claiming responsibility for a second attack on the USS Harry S. Now, Truman and his warship in the Red Sea within 24 hours said that the attack is seen as retaliation for U.S. airstrikes targeting Houthi positions. The Houthis launched missiles and drones at the U.S. carrier group, but U.S. forces intercepted and destroyed several projectiles. No casualties were reported from the U.S. side, but the Houthis have confirmed deaths from the U.S. airstrikes, with at least 53 reported killed, including women and children. The Houthis have framed their actions as resistance to U.S. support for Israeli policies, while the U.S. stresses its commitment to maintaining freedom of navigation. The UN has called for restraint to prevent further destabilization.
تأتي هذه العمليات للقوات المسلحة اليمنية حيث استهدفت بعون الله تعالى وللمرة الثانية خلال 24 ساعة حاملة الطائرات الأمريكية USS هاري ترومان في شمال البحر الأحمر، وذلك بعدد من الصواريخ البالستية والمجنحة.
Retail sales in China accelerated slightly in the first 2 months of the year, government data showed, as officials in the world's second-largest economy pushed to boost flagging spending. A spokesman from Beijing's National Bureau of Statistics said during a press conference that retail sales increased 4% year-on-year during January and February combined, but also warned that domestic effective demand is weak. Some enterprises face difficulties in production and operation. But data on Monday from Beijing's National Bureau of Statistics offered some positive signs, showing retail sales, a key measure of consumer sentiment, increased 4% year-on-year during January and February combined. And now in business, the Nigerian government recently claimed that food prices have seen a significant reduction, offering relief to citizens grappling with rising living costs. But how much of this reduction is actually being felt by everyday Nigerians? To find out, News Central Sagir Ibrahim visits the Utako market in Abuja, where traders and customers share their experiences and concerns.
The federal government has maintained that the price of food commodities in the market has been reducing over time. Currently, we are at the Utako market to ascertain whether this claim is true or not. Has the price of food commodities actually reduced in the market? Well, let's find out together.
Customer is not coming because this is hard. There is a key for goods. But I never set up to have goods. See, as it stands so, nothing come down. It's going higher every time. Let's start from January. January time we sell kilo 5,000 naira, but now it's 7,000 naira. To show that things is not coming down. And like this food goods, I used to buy it as from January time like 45,000 naira. But this goat, this particular goat I'm touching now, I buy it 60,000.
Honestly, there's been a reduction in the price of Irish potatoes. We used to sell around 9,500 to 10,000 naira. It didn't used to be like this. Before, we sell it around 20,000 naira for a basket of Irish potatoes. So you see that the reduction in price has been significant.
Like rice, presently we're selling it 83,000, 85. But formerly we're selling it 95 up to 100,000. I mean Nigerian rice. So now at least it reduces a little bit. Like oil, formerly as of December we sell at 98, 99,000, but today it's 80, 25 liters. Today is 80, 82,000 naira.
They explained that despite the slight reduction in prices, customers continue to express dissatisfaction.
Some of customers is not even entering market again because they don't know what to do. You will come today and price something to go back and bring money to buy. When you come back with the normal money you price as of yesterday, you will now see that the things have already added.
The customers still struggling how to meet up because there's no money. People do complain. You can see formerly during Jonathan, like this Ramadan season, we are busy. But today you can see we are just here.
Market shoppers also shared their experiences.
Okay, actually some items have not actually decreased, while some are on a higher side. Like the price of beans has actually dropped. Before now we buy beans 2,500, but presently beans is 2,018 per mudu.
Palm oil before was 2,200. Today when I come, they are still sitting on the same. I was telling the man that even what we buy in our area, the same thing with market is bad. Everything is just jumping. Common locust beans, this is 400, it's not 200. We don't know where we are going to. They should try and help us. God will help them. I'm a retiree, so even buy some markets, it's now I'm afraid.
While some commodities have seen a slight drop in price, shoppers say the reduction is not significant enough to ease the financial burden on Nigerians, urging the government to take further action. In Abuja for News Central, I'm Sagir Ibrahim.
Send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media as well. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube.